absolutely ridiculous year. And I'd argue that this year is probably the most craziest year that we've had this century thus far. Whether or not you're considering the wars that are currently being waged on our planet, all the way to the current presidential election, which I think is the most important U.S. election in terms of shaping the future of our country and its success going forward, to the fall of major political figures from like a creativity perspective, from a Drake, from a much more serious note, to the likes of a Diddy. And it was all initiated at the top of this year with one of the most viral videos of this year when Cat Williams said that all lies will be exposed.
All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
But prior to all of that happening, do you guys remember a story back in 2023? I can't believe it's been almost 10 months at this point. But do you guys remember the story of Roda Brickface Osman? If you don't remember, let me catch you up. This was a story of a young woman that initiated a GoFundMe, which managed to collect $40,000 in donations after she claimed that a young man walked up to her and hit her in the face with a brick after she refused to give him her number. Entitled "Help Black Muslim Mother Pay Her Medical Bill," posted by Roda Osman, who's the bricked young lady in question. This was posted in 2020 from 91 donations, raising almost $5,000. What we didn't have at that time was her particular marketing and advertisement video that led to that $5,000 of donations.
You grew up and they mad because you trying to be somebody. They mad because you trying to be somebody. I'm trying to be a doctor and they mad. Look what they did to me. Look what they did to me for no reason. They gonna beat me up. I'm 30 years old, they gonna beat me up. Grown ass niggas try to beat me up. Grown ass niggas try to beat me up for no reason. Look at me. I'm not a bad person. Y'all know that. Y'all know I'm a good person. And they try to do this to me. Guess what? It's up and down for a real nigga. But you gonna be a pretty all your life, nigga. All your life you gonna be a pretty. All your life you gonna be a pretty. And I fought for myself because I'm a gangsta ass bitch. What's up?
I wish that I had access to this video last week when I originally called her a scammer. Two things that I wanted you guys to be able to pick up on. Doesn't this video look exactly like the one she posted 3 years later?
What have I ever done to anybody in my life to deserve this? I never did anything in my life to hurt anybody. Literally, a man asked me for my number. I said no, and he picked up a brick in front of so many men and was like, what are you gonna do? And I told all these men, like, yo, why this man got a brick on my face? And he's holding a brick and all these niggas is watching and nobody does nothing. And he hits me in my face and then they all just watch and they let that nigga get in a car.
Initially, the internet went absolutely ablaze with not only sympathy for this young woman, but also it brought up real discussions in regards to protecting Black women, because she also claimed that there was all of these other men there that did not save or help her in her time of need when she was being assaulted.
No, this man just hit me in my face with a brick and all these Black men just watch and they don't give a yeah, this man hit me, grabbed a rock and it hit me in my face because I would have given him my number. And all y'all just watch. Y'all see that?
Now, after I caught wind of the content, I took a look at it and then watched her interview after, and then I began to poke holes on it because it was obvious to me that she was lying. I then took a look at her online image and persona and went deeper into her post history and found something way more sinister, that this woman not only had a history of creating GoFundMes after acting as if violence was enacted upon her, but also her utilizing every victimhood narrative that she can think of in order to boost donations. I'm talking, I am an LGBTQ, there goes one, single mother, there goes two, Black, there goes 3, Muslim. By the way, how are you LGBTQ and Muslim at the same damn time? And the list goes on and on and damn on. And not only just that, but I went through her post of her harassing service workers at 2 different establishments.
Wrong. I didn't bother anybody.
I'm just saying, I was asked to ask you.
Okay.
That's all it was.
I want to know why I'm being asked to leave. Hi. Is there a reason why you're asking me to leave the store?
Because of the fact that I was trying to explain to you how the customers had came in here and they told me that you were using profanity.
But they were lying, ma'am. I was speaking in Somali, and I know nobody here speaks Somali. There is no Somali community here.
You're not even letting me try to get to you and talk to you, trying to explain to you. You're keeping it up to me. So that's all the reason was for, because first a lady came right here. I was getting ready to go tell you, but I had to go do something. Another one came and she was like, that's when I approached her.
But they're lying, ma'am. Did you see me do anything wrong?
I didn't see you. 2 customers came up.
I was speaking
To racism with calmness. No, I am upset. I am offended. And I think you're very unprofessional. Okay. And I can speak to whoever I want. Don't you ever tell me or another customer who to talk to. I am not yelling.
Yes, you are.
Well, guess what? I will yell. Okay. And I can yell. Is yelling a crime? So she's gonna call the police on me for yelling? Call the police.
And after all of the public outcry, GoFundMe took a look at the case and took down her donations where she never received the money. And investigators looked into the case to potentially charge her with fraud, which happens to be a felony because of the amount that she was able to extract in donations. Well, obviously, the young lady didn't take too kindly to being discovered like a damn Scooby-Doo character. And actually reached out to me. I want to say this is like 2 or so months ago. She reached out and she says to me out of nowhere, I've never talked to her before, "Count your days!" Exclamation point. I don't know about to you guys, but this sounds like a threat to me. She then follows up and says, laughing emoji ×4, but TGIF and all of that. What do you expect me to engage in a cordial conversation with your lying, scamming ass? You're ridiculous, ma'am. Nevertheless, I chalk this up to her having a mental health issue and determine that she probably has a crush on me. But threats aside, ma'am, victimhood mentality, I don't know if you watch my platform. I'm not really fond of it. So you're not my type anyway, you know what I mean? I would pop the shit out your balloon. But this lovely young future jailbird, if convicted, now has court October 15th, 2024. But in typical ridiculous fashion, she was arrested 2 or so weeks ago. Shout out to the queen of accountability, Miss Daphne Sutton, who has been on the case diligently since the initial allegations were set forth by the bricked woman, because she has an understanding that the brand image, what that does to the black male image, this continued perpetuation that we are so violent that we cannot help ourselves but to enact violence onto a woman more often than not when we get something as rejected, is a lie that needs to stop yesterday. So it's important that the truth of these cases gets set forth so that more people can live a life in understanding the truth so that they can make decisions based in reality, not in unrealism or delusion or ridiculousness, as what that man versus bear conversation proved a few months back. Nevertheless, let's go through the documentation in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas. Roda Osman, referred to as a defendant, on or about September 12, 2024, did then and there unlawfully, intentionally gave a false and fictitious name to a police officer. On September 12, 2024, by the way, you know what's also funny about that date? I just checked. She sent me this on August 31st. Karma. It just took 2 weeks. At approximately 14-15 hours, Deputy Barrera with the Harris County was traveling when he observed a 2016 white Acura 4-door sedan with an obscure temp tag. Essentially, he pulled her over. I made contact with the driver of the vehicle, who advised she did not have any type of identification on her person because she forgot it at home. I gave her a notepad and a pen to the driver, and she advised the driver to write down her name and the date of birth. She stated she had an out-of-state driver's license but did not have it on her person because she was helping her sister move because of an eviction. I advised the driver again to write down her name and date of birth, in which she wrote down the name Rakoya. Osman with the date of birth as 7/18/1992 on my notepad. I then asked the driver who does own this vehicle, and she stated it belonged to her sister, Roda Osman. Initially, when I read this, I said, damn, it sounds like she's using her sister's name to get out of her bullshit. I asked the driver if she had the title to the vehicle, in which the driver handed me the title to the vehicle with the name, Roda Osman. While speaking to the driver, she advised me that her sister sent her a picture of her ID. While looking at the ID on her phone, I noticed it was an out-of-state ID and noticed that the picture on the ID had the name Roda Osman, but the picture on the ID did not resemble the driver. I went back to my patrol vehicle where I began running the driver's information, in which no information came back. I ran the name of the title of the vehicle, which was the same name on the Texas temporary tag, in which I found the person with the name Roda Osman and date of birth of that, which resembled the driver. I ran the driver's license number, I guess that's attached to the title, and was able to obtain a picture which looked very similar to the driver. I used that same information and ran the name, date of birth, and Texas driver's license number over to the Harris County DA website and found that the driver had given false information. What's so crazy about this is that if she just told the truth, now mind you, the whole reason that we know of her likeness and image is because of accusations of her lying about the brick shit. But apparently she hasn't given up her lying ways. But if she just told the truth, it definitely wouldn't have gone down into a misdemeanor charge. Obscured temporary tags. But maybe there was something else in the car that she was trying to hide. I don't know. I'm just asking questions. I was able to match the star tattoos on the right side of her face. Yes, she does have face tattoos. The scar under her left eyelid and a scar on her chin to the picture on the Harris County DA website. I advised the driver I knew this was her, in which she confirmed and began crying that she lied about her name because she was scared to get into trouble. She stated she was out on bond and did not want to mess up her bond agreement. She began giving out different excuses on why she lied and stated the information she gave was indeed her sister's. I contacted the Harris County ADA office, in which the ADA accepted charges for fail to ID. Charges were taken on the defendant due to the defendant intentionally giving a false or fictitious name. Shout out again to the Queen of Accountability for continuing to provide updates in regards to the story. Now, what's also interesting about all of this is that she was actually recently interviewed in regards to the GoFundMe situation. Let's listen to a couple of her words.
So a lot of my friends and my colleagues, they believe in the work I'm doing. So Kiara is one of those people who believes in the work that I'm doing. So she was like, nothing's gonna stop you from graduating. You're almost there. And she knows the hardship I went through going through my degree. I've lost advisors. People don't wanna work with me. They're like, I can't agree with what you're saying. And I'm not a very agreeable person. I'm like, this is what I wanna write. I'm gonna fight for it. And a lot of people are like, and I was like, I'm not here to be digestible. I want to shake the table.
Let's walk through. So the GoFundMe is created.
But here's the thing. There's 3 other GoFundMes created that.
Now, after all of her bullshit, he's trying to ask her about the GoFundMes, and she's talking about 3 other GoFundMes that are created, right? So she's just pointing towards other things in order to try to avoid addressing the situation. No one cares about these other fake GoFundMe that barely anyone donated to. We care about why'd you set up yours.
Have nothing to do with me, and I don't know those people.
Okay.
I find out about the other 2 actually way after, but I know about one other one. I tell people, I tell people, hey, this GoFundMe is fake. I have nothing to do with it. I report it to GoFundMe. They tell me they're gonna take care of it. I report it to the police. They don't respond. But my GoFundMe is being attacked.
Right.
There are literally people who made money off of me.
So let's just walk it, because I'm trying to make sure they follow the story.
Yes.
The GoFundMe goes up, money started getting inserted into the GoFundMe. At what point does it go bad? At what point are you finding out that the tables have now turned and they're looking at you as a suspect or a liar?
Well, here's the thing. Like, again, this is, a pattern, right? Because I'm thinking about this all from an academic level. There's 2 things. One, we don't believe black women. We kind of demonize them. So even if you were attacked, it was your fault. You know what I mean? So you don't deserve it. And 2, we don't want you to get support, because if you get support, you might inspire other people to come out.
Again, utilizing a victimhood status in order to try to extract something from the marketplace. Ma'am, the investigator that was on the case said that we looked at the tapes and what you said that happened did not happen.
So the abuser's got to come out and thing. And then 3, can we actually take a second to talk about the people who are GoFundMe hunters?
Sure, let's go.
I find it very, very funny. So I'm not the first black person who's had a GoFundMe and been questioned if it's real or not.
Sure.
And I've seen it happen a lot after me too. I heard it just happened to a girl right now who had a situation. So let's talk about this.
I will never understand people that utilize race as a reason to not question other people within their race. Just because we share a similar ethnic background doesn't make you invincible.
Because it's actually quite funny.
Okay.
GoFundMe is a $1 billion company. International, $1 billion company.
Okay.
They don't need your fucking ass to work for them for free. If you want to work for them for free, I'm in Texas, Houston. I know a plantation up the street. You can go see your master. So I don't know why you're working for GoFundMe for free. That's 1. 2, GoFundMe has a department that does security checks. They ask for
make
paperwork.
Sure it's verified.
So again, what are you doing when there are people who are being paid to do this work, right? 3, GoFundMe is one of the easiest places to get your money back. You say, how do you want to donate there? I promise you your money will come back to you in 24 hours. The last time I donated to GoFundMe was in 2022, I think. If I was to reach out to them right now and be like, hey, that fund I donated to, I will get my money back in 24 hours. So
again, not addressing the allegations put before her, but throwing salt on the people that looked further. And ma'am, I don't know the analytics with how many GoFundMe posts go up in a given day, but more likely than not, these organizations do not staff enough people to filter through all of them. It would slow down the process too much. So they have to take an educated business risk of, hey, we know some fugazi shit is going to go up, but hopefully the public will reach out to our ethics department so we can go over things that are particular highlights for whatever reason. And that's what happened within this case. But again, these dispersion tactics in order to gain sympathy points and her tokens while also padding her bullshit in a master's degree or a PhD, like she would say, in yapology is utterly ridiculous. Only a fool would continue to believe her and her bullshit, especially when there's so much evidence to the contrary of her initial allegation. Here's the last thing that I'll say about this entire thing, at least for right now, because, you know, I can follow it up in the future, baby, if I do so choose, is that shout out to who she accused. I believe his name is Olan. Your life was potentially forever changed by this ridiculous woman. I do hope that you learn from this situation in spaces that you put yourself in where you might encounter an aggressive woman like this. But far too many men nowadays come under the scrutiny after a false allegation is levied upon them. My G's that are watching this channel, make sure to dot your I's and cross your T's, because in this case, the security footage saved Olan's life. All right, I think that